Good morning, everybody. As we start the chitas of the day, today is Tuesday. Today is Monday. Monday, the second reading of the portion of Korach. We are right now in the middle of the story of Korach and his group that went against Moshe and going against him, that he gave his brother Aaron the kahuna, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. And we're right now in the middle of the story where Moshe Rabbeinu is trying to appease them. And he calls upon the Bnei Levi, the children of Levi. And now he calls upon Dasan Aviram to try to get them to come back to the table. So Dasan Aviram is in the middle of responding to him. That they will not come up. They won't have any dealing with him. Verse 14, that's all in chapter 16, verse 14. You have not even brought us to a land of flowing milk and honey. Nor have you given us an inheritance of fields and vineyards. Even if you gouge out the eyes of those men, we will not go up. The Nasi says the statement refers to the words not stated above, meaning you have not brought us up, and you have not given us the you not brought us up, and you have not given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. You said, I will bring you up to the affliction and give you the land, and you did not bring us out of there, but you did bring us out of there. I'm sorry. But you not brought us to the land. You have not done anything for us. And now we're all going to die in the desert. Even if you gouge out the eyes of those men, even if you send messengers to gouge out our eyes, if we don't go up to you, we will not go up to you. That's like a person who attributes his curse upon his fellow. Verse number 15. Moshe got exceedingly distressed. And he turned to God and said, do not accept their offering. I've never taken a donkey from one of them. I've never harmed one single one of them. So now she says he was very grieved. When it says by Yichar in the Torah, it's usually grievance, not anger. The concept of Yichar Hashem, and God grieved. It's an expression of frustration. According to its simple meaning, Moshe Rabbeinu said, do not accept their incense, that they will sacrifice for you tomorrow. According to the Medrash, said, I know that they have a portion of the daily communal offering, that their portion not be accepted before you, let the fire leave it and not consume it. Shouldn't have any part of the portion of the sacrifice of the day that might have an effect and give them some merit. I did not take a donkey from one of them. Even when I went down to Egypt and I was placed my wife and my son on a donkey to ride, I didn't have it taken the donkey from their pride. They never even sent me a limousine. I'm coming down to save them. I didn't have to walk on my feet. I had one donkey, and it was my donkey, and my wife had to put my wife and children on it. I took it from my own property. They should have come down and picked me up. Uncle John the Shach explained. Verse number 6. So Moshe said to Korach, you and your entire congregation, Hashem, come before God. That's it. Conversation's over. You and them and Aaron tomorrow. Verse 17, Guru Ishmael say, each man take his pan. The Satan is put upon an incense, and bring a sacrifice to God. You want to be Kehanim? You got the job. 250 pans. Ishmael, you and Aaron, each one's going to have a machta. Aaron's also going to take a pan. We're gonna prove this thing once and for all. That's what happened. Verse 18. Next day, every man brought a pan. And they put upon a fire. They put upon incense. And they stood at the tent of the meeting, and Moshe and Aaron. Assembled all the congregation to the entrance to the tent of meeting. This was a great challenge. You have to make sure they come. And the presence, the glory of God appeared before the entire congregation. So Yikalo, he gathered them. He made sure that they would be there. He was up a whole night with the words of mockery. All that night he went to the tribes, that enticed them, saying, "Do you think I care only for myself? It's for you. I care about all of you. I'm doing this for you." The politician. These people come and take all the high positions, the kingship. It's all about you. You think I need to become Amr? Koirach was a very wealthy guy. Do you think I need to have this? I am doing it for you. The kingship is for myself, the kun is for his brother. Until they went to until I said, "Listen, this is all about you guys. They're taking all the power. I'm fighting for the simple person." He came in a pillar of cloud. Okay, we're in the middle of the drama, high drama, and but well, that completes the Tilim. That is the Chumash for today. We're now going to go to the Tanya of the day. We're holding in the 8th chapter of Shara Yichud Be'emunah. Truly a beautiful Tanya. We are learning very Kabbalistic, beautiful Kabbalistic concepts. And now the Alter Rebbe continues. And he's explaining the first supreme quality. I'm going to explain this even to a human being, how it works in his own psyche, in his own makeup, his own DNA, that according to Kabbalah, every human being is made up of also 10 sfirot, starting from Chokhmah, from the highest level of wisdom, to the lowest level of Malchus. A human being is also comprised of these 10 manifestations. What is the first manifestation? What's the first concept in a human being? It's Chokhmah. That's why Chokhmah is called the beginning. And that's why you see this so to the Tigrim, when the Tigrim Yonason explains the first word in the Torah, Bereshis, in the beginning, he translated Bechokhmah, with wisdom. Because Reshis is always called wisdom. That's why Reshis is in the first Rashi also it says Bereshis, Beis Reshis, the first beginnings. And what's the first beginning? The Torah. One is Torah, Chachma. The Eibishter created the world, or Eibishter created the world with Chachma, and God created the world for Chachma. Wisdom. Because the truth is, Chachma, wisdom, is the beginning of the fountainhead of all life force in the creatures, in humans. Because from wisdom comes understanding and knowledge. You don't have wisdom, that's what the Mishnah says. If there's no wisdom, there's no understanding. So everything comes from the chachma, from the aspect of wisdom. You need to have the concept of wisdom to be able to have anything else. And thus, from these three faculties of the mind, that's where everything else comes. All the emotive attributes of the rational soul, everything, kindness and severity and beauty, all comes from this wisdom. As kindness, as loving kindness and mercy, and all the like, all derive from the action, from the chachma. Everything comes from wisdom. If you don't have wisdom, if you don't have chachma, you don't have chesed. That's for sure not. You don't have the concept. There needs to be the aspect of chachma. As you see vividly, take a child. A child that has no wisdom, his wisdom is not yet matured. A child who becomes a child, he gets very angry very quickly, and he can be unkind, he can be extremely unkind, extremely selfish. The gamma vase, and so to love, he can quickly love. You give him a candy. So if he hates you, he hates you. He likes if you have a child, he can hate you, love you. You give him a candy, he loves you. You give him a present, he loves you. Take something away from him, he hates you. Extremely emotional, very quickly on both sides. Why? Because he's immature. Basically, his mind is, I know some adults that way, but we won't get personal. So, the gamma was even candy. Why would anybody do little toys? Nothing. So they have a habit on the simple things because they're immature. Because he lacks understanding to love things that which are worthy to love. For love varies with the levels of one understanding because everything comes from das. So that's why the more mature you become, the more you love more important things in life. The more you understand that you should love, not things that are not worth to have ava to, but things that are worth to have ava. Midashim nefesh, and for the motive attributes of the soul, the words, letters, right? So now you put your love into words. You express love. The soul thinks of which it loves and how to perform deeds of kindness and mercy. And so too in all, everything comes through the rain. First, you become more mature. Your love becomes more mature. If your love becomes more mature, then the things that you love become more mature. And they become more refined. Every thought in the world. There is close some emotive attribute that causes one to think that thought. And its attribute is vinified force of the thought. So it's all up to the thought. So why do I love a certain kind of food? Or I love a certain kind of music? Or I love a certain kind of intellect? Certain kind of subject? Things that, why? Because it ultimately, I had that thought before, and now that I love it, I think about it more, and it becomes more crystallized in my mind, and I create a greater love and a greater desire to that thing, and I'm more wanting to that thing. So everything and for the letters of man's thought, you come to speak about, and and they are the actual verified first of these words. So if I love steak, I talk about steak. And I explain you, and I tell you how to make a steak, and how good it is. Etc. Because I have a love, because in my mind, this thing makes me happy. Maybe they nicer. Rabbi here talk about stuck and not about steak, thank God. So at Dibur, maybe they mice are stuck of a chesed. So I think that kindness is a good thing. I like to do kindness. I speak about kindness. And I do kindness. For example, a king who orders his servants to give charity, meaning his speech causes a charitable thought to result in action. That he gives charity. That he makes other give charity. And even when a man himself does some deed which he had thought of doing, in this instance, no speech is involved. His thought leads directly to action. Nevertheless, that goes to say here too, in order for the life force to descend from thought to action, it must pass through intermediate stage which resembles speech. The power of the soul and its life force, which encloses itself in this deed, I am mamish, is absolutely nothing in relationship to the power of the soul and its life force, which encloses itself in the speech of man. They are to each other in relation, in comparison to the body, to the soul. What does that mean? To the same degree, there's no comparison between the power of the soul and its life force, which clothes itself in speech of man, power, and the power of the soul and its life force, which clothes itself in man's actions. Therefore, when this power and life force has descended so far that it's able to clothe itself in action, it has already undergone a contraction and condensing, which is far below the power of speech, because it came into the concept of action. Power of speech is a wonderful power. Is a true, amazing concept, the power of speech. Likewise, there's a distance. The body of the like the distance of the body from the soul is the relationship between the letters of speech and the letters of thought. Because thought also has letters. We think in words. So thought itself is also a concept of letters. So there's a very vast difference between the letters in my thought to the letters of my speech. Likewise, the relation between the letters of my thought, the essence and motive attribute which enclosed in it and animates it that I'm thinking about it. So why am I thinking about the concept of chesed? Because I have chesed. Why am I thinking to do kindness? Because I have I have the attribute of kindness. And because I have the attribute of kindness, I think about doing kindness. And because I have the attribute and I think about doing kindness, in the letters of my thought, I speak about kindness. I tell others to do kindness. And because I have that level, ultimately, I myself do kindness. So we have the capability. That's what the Rebbe ultimately. The Rebbe thought about kindness. He had actually kindness. He thought about. He spoke about kindness. He gave others to give kindness. What we do? We stand every Sunday and give dollars to others to give kindness. So that's why there's an expression to pick up the little maid, allow me to learn, to teach, lishmer, to do it yourself, to watch it in yourself. Velasquez and to do it. So it's all about one's own actions, one's own thought, one's own speech, and making sure to impress it upon somebody else. That he awakens up his kindness, and he thinks about kindness, and he talks about kindness, and he does kindness. But there's a vast difference between the kindness that's in him, to the kindness that he thinks about, to the kindness that he speaks about, to the kindness that he does. There's a big difference in the aspect of kindness. And likewise, the relationship, the essence of the life force of the emotive actions, concept to wisdom. What is concept to the concept of wisdom? Chachma itself, wisdom itself. With the wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, which together constitute the intellect from which the attribute is derived. So without chachma, without wisdom, you don't have chesed. You don't have the concept of chesed. So can you imagine the aspect, if you want to imagine yourself, forget about the wisdom Lamaila, in yourself, your own wisdom, your own brain, your brain. Now without your brain, you wouldn't have the aspect of this emotional concept of chesed. We thus see the chain of descent from level to level, beginning with wisdom, culminating in action. Each level bears no comparison to even the level that immediately preceded. Wisdom to emotion, emotion to thought, thought to speech, speech to action. Emotion cannot be compared to intellect. Thought cannot be compared to emotion. And so on. Surely there can be no comprehension whatsoever between the lowest degree of action, the highest degree of wisdom. So now, if you give that analogy, that I gave you 4 steps: wisdom, emotion that creates, now back to wisdom, back to thought. Because I had a wisdom, I had an emotion, which created a thought, which created speech, which created an action. So if in these 4 levels that I've given you, there's no comparison between wisdom and emotion, emotion and the thought of emotion, the thought of emotion, the speech of emotion, speech of emotion, the action. How are you going to put together wisdom to the action? They're so far, far, far away from each other. And all of this whole picture that I've showed you, that's why it says, from God, from myself, I can understand godliness. If I can understand myself, if I see how intricate and how big I am myself, this can all happen in 1 second. From my intellect, and my action can take a second, but I have to travel. I have to go this journey. Without wisdom, I have nothing. After then, without a heart, I have nothing either. But without wisdom, I truly have nothing, because the energy of my heart comes from my brain. So when my brain goes down to my heart, goes back to my thought. It goes back to my brain, low part of my brain, and from that low part of my brain, which understanding goes to my speech, and from that goes ultimately action. Take a second, but it needs to have that journey, and one is so much greater than the other. So ultimately, the chesed that I've done is not a comparison to the true chesed that I have in my being. My chesed is much more vast than the action that I did, the penny I gave today to tzedakah. That penny I gave to tzedakah in comparison to my wisdom, very far one from another. And all this applies to the soul of man and the soul of the all created beings in all the higher and lower worlds. In all of them, wisdom is the beginning and the source of the life force of every human being, of every creation. That's all about a human being. God, however, that ends the time of the day, but the Alter Rebbe really wants to impress on us, not so much about a human being, but about God. God, however, as will soon be concluded, is a distant from the degree of wisdom as he is from that of action. God is above wisdom. Wisdom already is a concept. So the Eibishter is not even wisdom. You can't even say God is wisdom. So that they say that God created the world through wisdom. Everything comes through wisdom. The God, what's wisdom? Wisdom is nothing. From the divine perspective, action and wisdom are as humble equals. They're both the same. To the Eibishter, Chochmah and the concept of Maisa are all equal. They're all the same. No difference. And the Alter Rebbe will continue to. But that ends the Tanya of today. Film of the day. The day is the 27th day of the month. We're coming closer to the Chodesh Tammuz. Day 27th day of the month was chapter 120 till chapter 134. 120 to 134. These are the famous chapters of Shir HaMalos, the famous 15 chapters of the Shir HaMalos, the Song of Ascent. Beautiful. Tillim also, say your Tillim, and you would have done the Chitas of the day. I wish you all a wonderful, beautiful, happy, healthy, gorgeous day. God bless you all, everybody.
You too, Rabbi.